All right. I think that's gonna work. Record. All right.
I think we're
Okay, hello, Internet, eh?
and let me
Yeah.
Hello.
I hear we're talking about video game backlogs entering 2021.
Yeah.
Yep.
I think that's a. I'm curious, like what? Because I don't think there are any big releases like right now at the beginning of the year. But
No, not yet.
um, so I guess the first question I have, like, what does everyone else's backlog like? Do people have backlogs? Are there people who have none? Like, I don't know. I don't live your lives.
my let me start if I may. My backlog it goes quite far. It goes quite far. Okay,
Backlog meaning games we have yet to play, right?
Oh, yeah.
right, that'd be with meaning to play. Um,
Yeah.
Mine, lately. I mean, I don't know if I just told you this, but I'm very busy. I'm a very busy guy, whatever. But
What?
I'm a very busy guy. But
What?
I don't know why, but I've actually been going back in time, man. I've been playing a little bit of the Wii. So I have a Wii backlog I've been working my way through right now. And the first one is actually just a couple of racing games. Need for Speed Nitro. I don't know if you guys are. I know it sounds dumb, but it is actually a really good game. And I've been trying to work my way through some Wii games, and I don't know, I don't know. I like it. I'm a big fan.
If you're playing the Wii, you should really check out a game called Little King Story.
Yep.
It's
Oh,
like
no.
it's this hidden gem on the Wii. It was like my favorite game. No one like ever hears about it, but it was just an amazing RTS like kind of game with like really just amazing character designs. It's like this Wii game. It's like the only reason I hold on to my Wii is just to plug that one in every once in a while.
That's one of them on my list. And another one, it was Muramasa. Am I saying it right? Muramasa?
Yeah.
Side-scrolling game.
Yeah.
Awesome game.
Now, Gus, to be clear, this is your Wii, not your lauded Wii U that you're playing, correct?
No, Wii U. I'm actually going for the Wii U. I'm actually going to go for a complete collection. I have over 100 of the Wii games, so I'm going to complete it. I'm going to complete it.
With your copious
Good
time,
for
I
you,
believe.
buddy.
Don't forget about those Just Dance games. They probably released another one this year.
You know what?
They always do release one.
Yeah, interesting fact for the Wii is they did not come out with the Just Dance 2021. 2020 was the last one for that system,
Wow.
Oh.
which is pretty amazing in itself. I mean, think about it. A Wii game coming out in 2020 is pretty. I don't know.
That's pretty amazing.
Seems crazy to me.
Cue Boys to Men GIF. It's so hard to say goodbye to yesterday.
Yep.
What about you, Sarah Mo? What's your backlog looking like?
Oh, girl. So not only am I a late adapter to all video game consoles, so I still have a plethora of PS4 games to get through, not including the wonderful Maneater game, and I actually played the second new Tomb Raider game before I played the first one, so that's one that I still have to go through. But here these days in my self-imposed video game restriction until I have my own house, that backlog just keeps growing. I picked up Hades, just that came out last year, and I picked up what is the Harvest Moon adaptation, Buzz?
Friends of Mineral Town, but it's called Story of Seasons now. They've branded.
Yeah. So I do love me a good Harvest Moon, and I even heard Stardew Valley had another update, so I want to replay that again.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's my problem, is with all my backlog, I just keep going back and replaying my favorites. Like I have like 4 new game pluses for any one given game that I'm playing. It's an issue.
And are you like me where you just keep buying more? Well, I mean, that's what I do. I just keep buying more. And
Yeah.
The stack just keeps going higher and higher.
Yeah.
So
I try not to because I am aware of my backlog constantly, but I mean, stuff just looks so good.
exactly.
And I do still have
Yeah.
those stacks. Like I still like the physical copies. I'm not yet fully on board with that digital only.
Yeah, exactly. Amen. That's what I'm talking about. Because when Dimitri gets here, I'm gonna rip him one because he does a lot of that digital stuff too. I mean, I'm with the digital.
You can lose it.
Right. You need a physical copy. Whoever's looking at this, come on, guys. You guys have to have a physical copy. All right.
Yeah.
I'm
So,
I'm a mix of both. I own a lot of digital, and I own a lot of physical. So
I mean, to be fair, in the times of COVID, like I understand getting the digital copies, obviously, and nothing comes fully finished these days. You're always going to have like a massive download to,
Cyberpunk.
do right when you load the
Cyberpunk,
game.
if
But
you like the word.
yeah, but man alive, the disc, it's going to be a hard battle if I ever go fully downloaded, fully digital. But enough about that. Michelle, I heard you got a new PS3.
I do.
What's
It's
your
still
backlog look
there.
like?
Oh my gosh. I have 62 games in my Steam catalog, and I've maybe played about a quarter of them. I have many, many games. I have many games I still haven't finished that I've put in a lot of hours and I still haven't finished. I have a PS3. I have my DS. I have Kingdom Hearts games to play for the DS that I haven't played yet that are still in their plastic from like 10 years ago.
You could sell those as collector items now,
Yeah.
probably.
those are probably worth some cash. So,
Yeah.
Well, we'll see. They might not be in their plastic anymore. I have Phoenix Wright games I haven't finished yet.
Love Phoenix Wright.
So, oh yeah, it's never ending, and I just keep buying games. So,
Mhm.
As
I'm
one
gonna
does.
pre-order me some Back for Blood and other games. So, yeah.
Back for Blood, did the horror game kind of pick up and take off? Are you on a horror game kick now?
I guess, yeah. I guess I am. I keep playing Phasmophobia, and I'm getting better at it now. So I don't hide all the time. So it's fun. You kind of
Nice.
get used to it, but yeah.
Will,
Will, you're muted, girlfriend.
let me get Dimitri up to speed. Dimitri, we're asking, do you like digital or do you have to have digital or physical copy? Now, remember, before you talk, don't anger this group, okay? Don't anger this group, all right? We're already on edge.
You'll be voted off the island.
You will be, yeah.
All right, I'm gonna be quick. No, I like disc. I just have most of my stuff's digital. I feel like it's easier. And then I have a buddy I game share with. So on Xbox or on PlayStation, you can connect your accounts between friends, and if you have the digital game, they get to play it as well. So I have a buddy of mine that we do that, and I don't know, digital is just convenient.
Wow, I
swear, I
can't believe. But
I know.
Gus, can you
did it
believe how
without-
wrong he is?
Oh,
You got to have your
Oh.
collection.
Here we go.
You got to have your collection. That's the way I see it. Like,
I was wondering where this was going.
I know digital. I'm all about digital, but I have to have my physical collection as well. If I really, really want it and I want it on the go, I'll get a digital and I'll wait for a sale to do that. You know what I mean? Like a eShop sale or whatever.
Yeah.
PS5 or something like that.
But it's almost like having bookshelves. Like you gotta.
Right.
I think for me it depends on the game. If I really, really want it, I'm most likely probably gonna just buy it instantly, which means I'll probably buy it digital. Like Halo Infinite, when that thing comes out, I'm buying it. I'm buying that thing the second it comes out.
Gotcha. All I'm taking from this before we move on to the next person is that Dimitri doesn't have bookshelves to display his games, so he probably also doesn't have books, so he doesn't know how to read.
Okay.
What are you? Oh my God!
He's
No,
right.
no.
Not to shame those
You're going
people.
there.
That's perfectly fine, Dimitri.
Wow, that
Like, you can
is-
live your life.
that's
No shaming allowed here.
Oh
This
man,
no
that's
shame zone. I'm just saying. It's a
you
one-to-one
defend him?
correlation.
don't. It's not true, Dimitri. I got your back.
I have a collection of games, and I'm not illiterate. All right.
there we
There's
go.
no shame in
Yes,
that.
you are. Yes, you are. All
Okay.
right.
All right. Buzz, how are
Me.
you looking with your backlog?
Yeah.
Like, do you have a backlog? I don't.
Kinda. I feel like I'm kind of like juggling a ton of RPGs because those are always like the ones that seem like they're forever to get through. So like I'll pick one up, I'll get through like a few chapters of it, and then be like, all right, I'll come back to it. So I've got like Yakuza 7. I'm trying to get through the Dragon Quest Echoes of Elusive Age or whatever, but I'm doing like the S version. So this is the third time I'm playing it. So I'm kind of like, can I really get through it a third time? And then I'm really trying to get through the first Xenoblade Chronicles because they re-released it on the Switch. And so I've got it and I like it, but I really like the second one a lot better. So I'm kind of struggling to get through this one because I'm like, there's just too many side quests and stuff. And I'm one of those people too where like I get into a town, I'm like, I gotta do every single side quest before I leave. Otherwise, it's like I'm not leaving. And I'm like, wait, I gotta collect how many berries? How many bugs you want me to kill? Okay. So it's like put the kettle on. I'm stuck here for a while.
I was in the same place in that game, and I was doing cool. Like every new area, I would clear everything out until you get to the city you're trying to build, and that's when they're just like, that's when they decide to punish you. They're like, oh no, you can't even get this stuff. This stuff is like later in the game. Sorry, and you don't know from things that person wants, from things the thing the person wants. Like I'm like, no.
Oh yeah, no, it's that game. It drives me a little crazy because there's just kind of too much to keep track of too, especially once you get to Colony 6 and you're supposed to be rebuilding it. And I'm just like, I got a full-time job already. I can't be working for you people too.
Right. I would literally like, if I'll give you my money. Like I won't buy any more weapons. I will use these weapons the rest of the game. If that, just go and buy what you need. I'll
Right.
stand in this town while you do it. Go get what you need. Come back, please.
Well, and trying to figure out the relationships between the other NPCs and other areas too, to like make them happy enough to move to your town. I'm like, what do you want? What do you need?
Yeah.
That game, I like it, but that's why it's in the backlog.
It's beautiful. I was jamming to the music for a good long time. Like
Yeah.
the theme of I think not the Shin, like where you there, that big open world.
Yeah.
Da da. Like, oh.
No,
But
it's
yeah.
good. It's a great game, but it's just so long.
Yeah. Christopher, what do you got? You got any sort of backlog business?
I don't know. Right now, my main backlog is that I guess kind of in the similar RPG funk like me with Bravely Default, because that game drags on around the middle, which is where I am. So that's just been kind of sitting on the back burner while I've been playing other things. Honestly, my main backup has just been stuff that I haven't finished or stuff that I want to replay. So like Earthbound, Xenoblade Chronicles as well, because I got far in that one and I hit like the same funk of, oh god, like it's so long. I really wanted to go back and replay some of the Shin Megami Tensei games. So really just a lot of my backlog has just been stuff I either didn't finish or want to replay.
What about Alon? What do you got in your hello? What do you got? What do you got in your backlog?
Oh my god, hold on one second. Where do I start? A lot of games. I recently bought Guilty Gear. It was on sale on Steam for like $11 for pretty much the entire collection. Then there was Outlast. I bought that. Life is Strange. I spend a lot of money on games, so it's easier to say I have a lot of it in my backlog than naming my backlog.
All right. So some things I thought of when I was thinking of backlogs. The first thing I'm just going to throw out there. How much of people's backlogs are games you genuinely mean to play versus games that you are getting for posterity, like you're collecting. And I mean, I'm really just picking on Gus, I feel, with this, because I feel like he's the person most likely to fit into this. But like, do you intend to play all these games? Or are you just getting it because it's there and you want to have it for maybe one day, possibly?
For me, I intend to play all of it. And I do typically, maybe I won't finish a game, but I will definitely play it for like, I'll give any game, at least give them 10 hours, 10, 20 hours. And then it depends on the game, but I don't play everything, but I really do intend. I have good intentions. So that's what I do. And I have, I'm a big collector, so I just can't see myself just getting digital. I just don't know how people like Dimitri live.
There's nothing wrong with digital.
Alan, before you joined, we were talking about digital versus disc.
Oh man, a lot of topics I like to talk about, but have been avoid talking about because I will feel personally attacked in a lot of them.
Oh, you're going to be attacked. Okay.
I feel personally attacked in some ways because, like, as Will have mentioned, like, do you just get it to have it? And I've been questioning that for a while too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, with me, I don't get it, have it. I get it. I intend to play it.
Okay. That's fair. The other thing, kind of going along with something Gus said, like finishing a game, because a lot of people talk about finishing. Like, how are people, like, are we just only defining finishing the game as you beat it, find whatever the game over is? Are we saying like just X amount of time? I know we've got some people in here who need to beat games multiple times. Like, what does it take for you to finish a game? Is it different from game to game? Like, I don't.
I think for me, it's just finishing the main campaign.
Okay.
Finishing the campaign, finishing the side stories.
I always like to try to get the platinum on a lot of games, which is always kind of annoying. I like, for some reason, especially when the PS5 came out, I was like, I'm going to platinum everything. I've quickly dropped that like resolution. It's not really a resolution or anything like that, but it's like, but I did platinum like Demon Souls, The Playroom, and another game all when they came out like that first week. And I was like, I can keep doing this. I'm going to keep up the momentum. And I was just like, no, you're not. Just stop it. But for me, that's always kind of a thing because I'm always like, I always want to have like that perfect like circle. It's like kind of like that like, oh, I filled in every dot on like the page kind of thing. I have to have that. And sometimes I feel guilty. Like I feel like I wasted the purchase kind of like a new game, especially if I don't do everything. So you kind of get like that like buyer's remorse kind of thing where you're like, I really should stop buying new games till I finish what I have. But I mean, that's never going to happen.
Yeah, I find myself in a spot because we're prepping to move. So part of that was packing a bunch of our stuff in boxes. And that meant like I was told, all right, you need to pack the games you are not going to play. And then you can keep whatever it is you want to play and we'll figure out a place for it. And I looked and I initially like, all right, these should only be in storage for maybe a month and a half, 2 months. I'm pretty sure I only need these 13 games and I'm fine. And I look now and I'm like, these 13 games include like Diablo 3. What is in there? I kept Xenoblade, I kept Control. Like there's no way, like if I quit this job tomorrow, I still don't think I can complete all these games in that time. And I'm not quitting this job. And so like I just have a bunch of stuff that I just needed to see, apparently. I need to look on the shelf and be like, you're still here.
On the twist side of that, though, like, I packed everything thinking it was only going to be X amount of days. And Will, I wish I'd taken your approach to it. Because it's still down there.
Jeez.
Yeah, but there's a lot of games too now where it's like they don't actually want you to ever finish playing them. It's kind of like that.
Yeah.
They want you to be that one game. Like Marvel's Avengers kind of had that roadmap to it. Assassin's Creed Odyssey was the kind that kept leaking content out over time, so that it almost was like more of the same game. Like, so it's just your one game. And then you got games like, you know, I always think of like Splatoon 2. I'm like, there's never an end game for that game, and it's probably the game I played the most on the Switch. But did I beat it? I don't know. It's just a multiplayer game that I have a lot of fun with.
I feel like some multiplayer games don't get that same, like, I beat it kind of thing, which is kind of like, this is my answer to this question, Will. I can finish a game when I've beaten the main storyline, but most importantly, when I no longer look at it and say, yes, I could pick that up for another at least 5 or 6 or 10 or 12 hours and just explore the world. Like Breath of the Wild, that is done. I am ostensibly finished with it. I will still just pick it up and walk around the world because it's so lush. But I also don't mind a game that continues going on. Like if The Witcher 3 had more content to download and like just continue the story, I would pick up that again and continue the story. If Dragon Age Inquisition had more content,
It's over. It's gonna be a gotcha game.
I would still pick up Inquisition again.
Oh my god,
By the way-
Genshin
Maybe I
Impact.
will.
By the way,
Oh, I
Witcher
do need to
3
play
Wild
Genshin
Hunt.
Impact.
Okay, I actually
By the
really
way-
like Genshin Impact. I was giving it so much shade till TikTok made me basically try it because I kept seeing it, and I was like, oh, I kind of like this.
Yeah, that's
You
how
were
it is
giving
for
it
most people.
shade?
Well, it's not like as predatory as I thought it was going to be. Like I was kind of expecting to hit that wall of like, oh well, if you've enjoyed this, give us $10 and you can have some more sugar from Old Man Shop. And it's like, no, it's actually not that bad because like you can get the premium currency just by doing stuff. And so I've actually had like plenty of pulls on like the old slot machine without spending any money on it yet.
That's what I've heard about that game. And that it looks just like your Monster Hunter, just not Monster Hunter, but your Boop Bop Beppo and everything else.
Yeah, it definitely
Very
looks like a
stylized.
chain of Italian eateries. What are you talking about?
It looks like a bunch of other games that we have all played. Like
Yeah,
cutesy fantasy lifestyle.
It reminds me of something out of like Nice America or like Gust, kind of like that sort of
Yeah.
idol-esque anime character kind of thing.
I know my weakness as a human being. I cannot play Genshin Impact. Otherwise, I might as well just give them my bank account and just be like, all right, I need those people now. I need them right now in my party. I need that magic stuff. I can't mess around with it. I hear it's well done. I can't get involved. I don't know when to stop.
Yeah, that's probably smart. That's just how most games are. Even if it's not like as bad of a gotcha as other things, it's still a gotcha game. So
Um, let's see. So I guess what is everybody's like biggest what game in your backlog is your biggest like guilty, I don't want to say guilty pleasure, but I just like the biggest backlog guilt. The game you look like, man, and that game's still there. I don't know if
I got two of them. God of War and Red Dead. I played probably Red Dead Redemption 2, by the way. I played the first hour and I never started the application on my PlayStation since. And I bought them on release day, and I think about it a lot, actually.
Wow.
Ooh, I can think of two. Call of Duty World War II. I played a little bit of it, and I have not played it since. And the other one that I would say about is Jedi Fallen Order.
Oh.
that was like a Souls light sort of game, like Soul-esque. It was all right.
Yeah, I also played that one for like 6 hours and I dropped it for no reason. It wasn't a bad game. There was nothing wrong with it. I just never went back to it.
I just felt bad. I was interested in every other character than Cal Kestis, or as we called him in the house, Cal White Dude. Like I literally just did not like he was there, and I was like, all right, that's good. I like your fallen mentor more. I like the lady force choking you more. Like I'm more interested in the pilot. Like even the bounty hunters who come after you at a certain point. I'm like, man, I would love a game with these guys. But I
Yeah,
got Cal.
I wish they'd done a little bit more of like a Knights of the Old Republic style thing where you've got kind of like a insert your own character and then the other characters around you get to interact with a bit more. Because that would have been fun. Because like it was kind of a little bit boring with like him and like his BB-8 clone kind of character the whole time.
Yeah.
So I have two.
All right.
The first one is the least controversial, or the less, and it is The Last of Us Part 2. It's still in my backlog.
Least.
I stopped at the beginning of the second part because I realized I would have like 7 more hours. But my most controversial one that I have no explanation for this is Final Fantasy VII.
Are we talking the remake or classic?
Classic. I got to the last time you fought Sephiroth. And I don't remember if I like had run out of potions or if I was just like, this is a good saving point, but I just never returned to it.
Wow.
I think about it at least once a month.
Maybe even once a day.
Listen, especially with that remake.
It's so
When's the
good.
second part coming out?
Let's not talk about it.
2026?
Let's not talk about that. It's coming. They're working on it. Square every day.
There'll be this one at the end of this generation probably, and then they'll finally finish that whole series by the end of this generation of people. Like,
I'm pretty sure
this-
it'll end by the time the PlayStation can go and buy drinks. PS21 is gonna be able to finish the series off.
Hey, well, at least let them. They should take their time. Cyberpunk taught us anything.
Ooh, Connor playing the Cyberpunk card. Not much you can do. Like,
Thought we
man,
weren't going to talk about it.
I mean,
Dimitri's looking for that glitch again.
To be fair,
for
I have not
me,
started playing Cyberpunk.
for me, I was gonna say I'm guilty of Last of Us 2 as well. It's like I've been waiting for the right time. I want to dedicate my time to it. I don't want to just spend it an hour here and there. I want to do it justice. I want to play it right. You know what I mean? That's why I kind of been putting it off.
Well, then it's hard. It's hard too because you have to be in the right mentality. You have to have enough time. But then if you give it too much time, sink into its mentality, and it is a depressing, violent game.
Yeah.
But I'm constantly aware that I've promised to also Twitch stream my Last of Us Game Plus playthrough. And I feel pressure when there's no pressure.
You're under pressure.
Doot, 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 doot. Nope, that's the wrong song.
yeah. What about you, Michelle?
I think my biggest in my backlog is the first BioShock. I put about 2 hours in it and I got scared and I turned it off and I haven't turned it back on in like 7 years. So
That's something you gotta finish off. You
I'm
can't just
very
leave it like
guilty
that.
of. I know. Well, past me is very guilty of being like a Steam sale would come up. Oh yeah, and I buy a lot of games, and then I have so many games that I haven't even like opened. They're not even downloaded on my computer. They're just sitting there in
I mean, yeah, but
my Steam library, just hanging out.
yeah,
And I'm like, okay, maybe I will buy them, and then I don't,
I want to take a quick
and I
second.
never start them.
I want to take a quick second here as an aside.
Yeah.
Just you're talking about Steam sales, and I just want to say how good everyone, like gamers in 2020, have it.
Yes.
Like I just want to say, like you didn't have to go to Funko Land. You didn't have to track down the Babbages and
Yeah.
try to do some exchange. Like if you want a game, you can just go get it. Like at some point they start, I swear these Steam sales, they start paying players for games instead of charging them. Like as a console person for years, like I'm just hoping for $19.99. I'm just hoping for the best, you know. Please get down there. Just come on, don't tease me with the $29.99. Just come on, bring it down, bring it down. But meanwhile, Steam just like, oh here, you want, oh I heard
Yeah.
you're interested in Divinity. Here's every game of Divinity, $3.
Exactly. Exactly.
Okay,
Yeah.
I guess if you say so.
Yeah.
And like I think the proliferation of this sort of like the level that backlogs have gotten to, I have to say a huge impact on that has been the Steam store and the digital marketplace. Because like at a certain point, games take up a physical space, and like even with games getting smaller, like they're just space it takes up. And after a certain point, you're just like, all right, I don't have the space for this stuff. But now it's in the theoretical library that is infinite. So, all right, I got that off. I'm done. What about you, Dimitri?
The game for me would probably have to be Batman Arkham Knight. That's the one I haven't gotten to. I don't know if you guys played it at all.
Oh, it's really good. It's really
Yeah, like I watched all my friends play it. I watched a lot of gameplay on YouTube.
it's
And I started it. I don't know. I still have it downloaded. I just haven't gotten to it. So, yeah.
it's really
But I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna finish it eventually.
Yeah. It's really
You've made the promise.
I'm gonna have it done. All
yeah.
right.
You're not gonna.
No, no excuses.
All right, so Dimitri, let's say you there's a eShop sale or a play or Xbox sale for $4.99, but you can get the physical one for like $1.99. What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? You're hanging on a cliff. You have to pick one.
I told you I have. Listen, I have no problem with physical copies.
Mhm.
Like I don't know where this came from.
Because I know you. Listen. He's a liar. No, I know you. You don't have you have a little bit of a collection, like a small collection.
I'm proud of it. I don't know. Come on, man.
I don't know. That's just me. I don't know. I gotta have physical.
I have physical games. I don't know what you guys are talking about.
I feel like it's hard when in comparison to you, because I feel like Gus, in addition to being a gamer, I feel like you're equally a collector. You are a gamer and a collector of these things. So it's hard, like, to be in your shadow that Dimitri is in, being like, you know, Dimitri has no games. Dimitri could have 50 games on the shelf, and in comparison to you, he has no games.
He's got a layer of dust.
True.
Yeah, but I know you've been working on building a PC too, right?
Yeah, I'm trying. I'm just one part away.
What part?
It's my graphics card. I'm on top of it too. Like I see the drops. I'm following everybody on Twitter. I'm doing the right things. I can't. Like the website, I guess too much traffic on the website, and like it won't even load. Like it's that bad.
But Buzz, I think this question was for you. I know Dimitri and Will were talking about. I know a couple of weeks ago you were talking about you made a bot. Am I correct?
Yeah. So if you want to kind of beat the eBay scammers and scalpers and stuff to get a next gen console, because they kind of just sit there and the problem is too is that they don't do them in waves. They kind of announce it, so people kind of rush the sites and stuff. If you've got a computer that can handle it, which doesn't even need to be that good, you can basically just open up your browser, perform a shopping action like you're going to buy something, and sort of basically capture all the code as it's going so that you capture every step in the transaction process. So you're basically getting like all of like, what Target's doing in the back end on the browser page. So you have all these actions. Then you go to the Xbox version of the page, look at the source code for that, swap it out. And there's tons of tutorials on how to use a basic bot program. So you can just kind of be like, oh, okay, swap out this variable for this field. I know what I'm doing. And that way you can say, all right, try to do it every second or whatever. And you can run multiple bots at the same time. So it's like you're working through multiple clicks. And then basically just whichever one gets to a shopping cart and actually gets to a payment page first, have it jump to the front, stop all processes, like just use a kill command. And then you can just start your payment process. And that's how I did it.
That's crazy, yeah. Because I know Dimitri's looking for
Yeah, I need a 3080.
the 3080, and that's like
yeah.
Graphics card.
The graphics card, yeah.
Yeah, I will tell you, I signed up to a Discord group that this was back, not even for the PS5, this was something else, but they happen to have a channel for all the NVIDIA cards. And when I heard about Dimitri's plight, I'm like, you know what? I'm going to set up my notifications so I get these notifications. And all I learned is that anytime I get the notification and the time it takes me to hit that button, even if I'm looking at my phone and my hand is hovering over the spot where it's going to be, and I press the button, the time it takes to load, they're all sold out and we're done. Like they're just telling me they used to have them in the past.
Yeah.
It's really that bad. I don't get it. I don't get it. Like, Will, even if you were to like text me, like give me a heads up, there'd be no point. Like,
no.
By the time Will even takes his phone out to start texting you, it's probably sold out.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
And most likely I already know about the drop, and I'm still just, I can't get it.
Well, you said you had a source at one point. You had someone in the store telling you.
Yeah.
It didn't even matter.
No, it doesn't. It really doesn't matter. I don't.
Your source wouldn't hold the cartridge, the graphics card for you?
That's not how it works. I don't know. It is what it is. I don't care. I know I'll eventually grab it and I'll have my PC done, but it's a little rough right now. I can get something temporary. I don't know what I should do. Yeah.
Burn it all.
Honestly, I feel like it. But
I not trying to spread rumors, but I did went to a certain technology place this week where I got some inside information where if you go to the certain store around Tuesday or Saturdays around 5 a.m. When their shipping trucks come in, there's a good chance you might get a 3000 series card. They don't know what 3000 series card you'll get, but there's a chance if you get there at 5 a.m.
Or you could get stabbed and get tetanus or die.
Yeah.
I think I know.
There's that.
This is like a mission in the video game. Like, I heard you can go to this place at 5 a.m. in game time.
It is a legit store. But just one, I don't know 100% accurate that is. It was through the store employee told me that he could have been buttering me up while I was buying the monitor that I was getting. But that's what I know from what I've been told.
No.
I know the store. You gotta let me know, Alon. Don't listen to. I'm not listening to Sarah.
Dimitri, what?
Don't do this.
I mean, you did say some disparaging comments earlier. You did make
5 a.m.?
I don't want to say it just because I don't want to advertise this place because graphics cards are low and I don't want to send people.
Well, it's also
out
not like they don't sponsor the show, so you can't give them free advertisement.
Now,
we can't say anything unless you guys leave comments.
Yeah.
Leave comments on the video. Maybe we'll give you some extra tips.
Yeah.
5 a.m. I'm not encouraging anybody to get out of their house at 5 a.m. in winter.
No, you're not supposed to get out at 5 a.m. You're supposed to be there at 5 a.m.
Girl, this is even worse. Thank you for that. Thank you for clearing that up.
That's even worse.
Does this technology store start with a best and then end with a
Oh,
bot?
no.
I'm trying to spoil it. They got a comment. They got a comment to find out. That's how we drive up.
Yeah, let's get some comments.
So I did have a couple of other like news things, and the first one was something that was today, and it is my favorite thing because it is apparently how to make Nintendo execs laugh for an hour. I thought you'd have to do a comedy routine, but instead, all you have to do is be Microsoft. I don't know if you guys, I think some of you may have heard.
I have
There's a
not.
I've
there's
definitely heard. It's incredible.
It's
there's
so
an
funny.
there's a series done on Bloomberg News about the history of the Xbox with Microsoft. And one of the things they talk about at a point, Steve Ballmer sent the Microsoft crew to Japan to get a meeting with Nintendo and see if Nintendo would be interested in being bought out by Microsoft. And they took the meeting and then proceeded to laugh at them for an hour. And what I find fascinating about this is like, on one hand, yeah, it's funny. And you can kind of think, all right, I guess, in terms of like in the game world, like Nintendo over Microsoft or something like that. But we're talking about Microsoft can throw Microsoft money at this, right? Like Microsoft, like they could have essentially just handed them a check and say, you put whatever number you need to on there.
Yeah.
Like we can get it minted. It's all right. It doesn't matter. And they were just like, nah, no, it's all right. And this is like, I'm trying to think what system, like I want to look at the year because I want to know at what point were they at. Was this pre or post Nintendo Wii Nintendo? Because man, if it's pre Nintendo Wii, things are not looking, I mean, they're not bad. They're not looking that good. Like you can't be that
I think
confident.
they said it was before Square Enix combined. Like, yeah.
That would have been about.
They just, I think, had like the NES and the
Super NES.
Super Nintendo. Yeah, I don't even think the N64 was a glimmer in their eye by that point. The Game Boy systems, obviously. But I think it was primarily, your boy Mario and
Luigi and those.
Will's double checking. He's fact checking.
No, I think you're right because it looks like this is around the creation of the original Xbox. So I guess they had gone to Nintendo. They also went to EA and just like, hey, can we, like, and it's such an interesting like solution. Like, all right, we want to get involved in games. We will just buy some studios and make that happen. Which again, something it's not like they're not doing now. I'm looking at you, Bethesda. Like they're just like, yeah. I mean, if the Bethesda purchase means before one of their jank games goes out, that somebody at QC is going to look at it for 10 minutes and be like, hey, wait a minute. Your character's head is like stuck in this building. Maybe we should work on that. Your collision software is not doing what it should. I'm cool. Like, I'm all right.
You make a strong point. It's just a woof.
I don't know. But it's weird to think like they mentioned like the beginning of the article says like we can now say with a certain amount of safety, Microsoft was successful at breaking into the video game market, which is something so far Google, Amazon, Apple.
Oh my God, Amazon.
No, could not make this thing work. Like 3 companies that again can just take a checkbook and say put whatever number you want there. And no. Do you guys think like that any of these companies could be successful in the future? And if so, what do you think it would take?
I don't know.
I guess the main thing would be some form of like actual innovation or something that would make people care. As like most people are just going to stick with what they already have. If you already have a PlayStation or something, you have no real reason to swap over. And they need to get other companies that make games interested or pay them enough money to have versions on their new software.
You also need a killer app is technically kind of like the rule of thumb. You need that one game everyone has to have. It has to be exclusive to your thing. Like Nintendo originally was going to sunset the Game Boy, then Pokemon came out, and suddenly they were making Game Boy Color, Game Boy Slim, Game Boy Pocket, and they couldn't print them fast enough here or in Japan. And that was kind of like the turnaround for that system.
Yeah. Also, like, think about this. Think about when Xbox came out. What if it came out without Halo? You know what I'm saying? Would they still be in the market?
Dark
Oh,
time.
well,
You know, an interesting thing to posit is I think that they, instead of going after like these existing companies, if they went after game devs and they said, hey, you can unionize, you can do anything that would make you feel like this is a safe and happy work environment. And we just want you to work, you know, present us with some good original content. And we already know, like, if they scalp the game devs, I think they could be onto something. But then they'd have to come up with a system.
I couldn't see, like, especially with, it would depend on the company doing it. It'd be hard for tech companies that are already ununionized to start another union, like, because to have the resources.
I don't know. Google did just, fingers crossed, agree to a union.
I heard something about that.
It could be pivoting in that direction.
Have they been
It would be a
acknowledged by the
very
company?
large pivot. I don't know.
No.
I didn't read the article. I got distracted. There was a red dot I had to go chase.
I don't know if this is real. But
Reality?
maybe, no.
Are we?
Are we
Right
here?
now? Gus, there's a little boy across your shoulder.
Is this my hand?
All
Are
right.
you questioning the nature of your reality?
Anyway, I'm sorry, Dimitri. You don't know if this is real. In your blue room.
I don't know if this is my really blue room, but I don't know if this is real. Maybe I mentioned this last time, but did KFC announce that they're making a gaming console? Or am I going crazy? Yeah, I'm pretty sure KFC, like KFC chicken.
KFC chicken, yeah.
Like they came out. I didn't make you laugh, Sarah.
What? What is this?
No, I'm sorry. They were making a dating sim game. They released a small, like 3-minute online video of like a dating sim, sexy Colonel Sanders, played by, oh, shoot. But I think they're like playing with a dating sim kind of thing.
Okay, I swear I don't know if somebody has a computer,
Let me give you guys.
but like search it up, like KFC console. I swear.
That one?
Let me see.
God,
swear,
I
that's
hate
fun.
that you're making me search
I know.
this.
I'm sorry.
Unfortunately, you will not take long to find.
Yeah.
A recipe for seduction with KFC.
What?
The KF console from Cooler Master.
It can warm up chicken,
Apparently,
So
and you can play games.
and it's like you can play 240. Yeah, I don't know. It's crazy.
Mario Lopez.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong, because I am from a different time, but don't you want your computer to not get hot enough to heat up meats? Isn't the whole point of a computer is to keep it as cool as possible?
So is it an air fryer? Is that what's going on here?
So this is kind of clever, though, and it could potentially be right. Like you've got this heat, right, and you've got to do something with it. Like, and you preferably want to get rid of it. But if you've got it, like, put it to another use. Like, I don't think I want to own this, but I respect the hustle.
I don't know.
Actually, serious. Yeah, it's real.
I hate everything about this, Dimitri.
I'm sorry.
What?
So do
You
I.
not like chicken?
So do I.
I just would worry about, like, unfortunately, like the sort of chicken they're showing in this image, like it tends to like bubble and whatnot, and then, like grease gets in places, and that you definitely don't want near your super cool video cards. like, and what happens when it's time to upgrade? Like, I don't know if you can just fit like regular parts in there.
Original, crispy, extra crispy. What do? You know what I mean? What kind of seasoning is in that thing?
I can't believe I searched this up. Sarah, this is the game that you were talking about. Who developed this? There's an actual like dating sim with KFC. I don't.
Really?
Dimitri, I can't believe we're talking about this right now.
All
You
things
brought
gaming.
this
I can't believe-
cursed subject upon us.
It has like good reviews too. Like that's the crazy part.
I'm never gonna be able to look at chicken nuggets again.
It's
All
like,
things gaming. That's what we talk about. All things.
A finger-licking good dating simulator. I love you, Colonel Sanders. Is that it?
Is that
Wait.
separate from the Mario Lopez movie?
Yes,
Okay.
it
So
is.
the Colonel has his hands in a lot of places.
Stop it.
Okay, that's
Fingers are being licked all over town.
Yes.
I will full name you, all of you. It'll come to me like it is magic. My God.
He's telling me, talking about KFC in this very blue room in there. It looks like you're in the ocean right now, man.
dude. You guys didn't have to put so many. Yeah, I'll change the color.
so. The other like Nintendo adjacent thing that I thought was interesting was like the discovery. I think it was a week or so ago, maybe a little bit sooner, that the NPCs in Breath of the Wild were all modified versions of Mii's.
Yeah.
That person got about, I think, several hundred requests to add Peter Griffin.
To add who?
Peter Griffin. He did not stutter.
You know, Lois, this reminds me of the time I was in Breath of the Wild.
Peter, what were you in Breath of the Wild? So, I can't do a Family Guy voice, but I certainly will try and be embarrassed about it later.
You're embarrassed?
No, not at all. I'm exceedingly drunk. No, I'm also not drunk. It's just
This
water.
is a kids' show.
It's just water. No, I thought I was going to have a drink later, but Uber Eats canceled on me just now. I'm exceedingly crushed.
Oh no!
They moved it back by 10 minutes for a whole hour straight, and then they had the gall to be like, just kidding, we didn't even start on your food. You're not eating.
Ooh.
I told you.
To be fair, I got 3 straight cancellations from Grubhub on New Year, like Christmas Eve. I was like, "Oh, this place looks like they say they're open. That's cool." Nah. Then the second place, nah. The third place, the driver went there, and I'm like, "We're good now. I can see the driver on the." Wait, what?
I know. The
Thank
driver
goodness.
pulled up, and they were like, oh, we're going to get it. And I was like, oh, great. And then nothing. I was like, it's fine.
Third-party apps are the terrible things to use. But, William, if you do not have any more prompts, I have one that really quick you kind of made me think about when you were saying you were jamming to video game music.
Yes.
And then Michelle said something as well. What video game soundtracks do you guys that like they stick with you constantly? Because speaking of Last of Us, it makes great music to listen to while doing work.
Oh, I know mine. It's Nier Automata, or just even regular Nier from the PS3 era. Because they hired this, like, I want to say she's Icelandic or something. She's like a singer, and she sings in a made-up language. And I'll find myself thinking about the lyrics in my head, like to the tune sometimes when I'm like working or just doing something. And the words mean nothing, but it's like you can kind of hear it in your head. And it's like listening to foreign music where like, you know, you can appreciate it even if you don't know the words, but it's complete word salad. It means nothing. And I'll just be like, it's like this weird haunting kind of melody too. So it's very ambient. And it's just a whole soundtrack of that. But I really like it. It's so, I love that. The music from that series is just choice. I really am excited for the remake too for it.
Yeah, I got my pre-order.
Speaking of video game music, you know, I highly recommend. I like my scary games, whatever, but this is Silent Hill soundtracks, like 2 and 3 especially. Those are really good. Those are really good. Whoa.
Excuse me.
God bless you.
What? Silent Hill soundtracks are really, really good. Highly recommended.
Really think about that music.
While everybody's thinking, you know what? I just going back to this KFC thing really quick. I just found a couple of good reviews about the KFC's dating simulator game. Just listen to this. Hello, I'm 53 years old. I played this game and it cured the COVID-19. This other person writes, I was an ex-convict battling severe depression after my son killed his mother, my wife. He then went to kill himself. This game made me forget everything.
Dude, everybody's.
Well, apparently there's a following of this game that there's some great reviews. I didn't know.
I really thought it was all like 10 out of 10.
I don't want to know anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Know anymore.
For me, like, I don't know if there's a lot of video game music I like. Like I like the soundtrack for 7 Remake. I like when I want to get myself pumped up, I will listen to the Suicide Run theme from Mass Effect 2. Like that is like I put myself back at just anytime I hear it, like just before that game ends, and like just swearing up and down and like yelling at the television, and just like it was, oh man, like I'm getting excited thinking about it now. Like it was great. Weirdly enough, not weirdly, because I guess it's very popular, but like I find myself always wanting to listen to one song off the Undertale soundtrack. Like usually I'll pick one or two, and then I'll listen to that one song, and I'll just leave it and keep going. Like, oh, I guess I'm gonna listen to the rest of the thing now. Like I'm gonna listen to the whole thing from this point on. And so there's that. And then Assassin's Creed for Black Flag. I still will occasionally sing sea shanties because I think they're great. About like run down to Cuba. Run down to Cuba, no big sugar. Rain down to Cuba. Running down to Cuba. Like it's okay.
What's a good one?
That was. And Lowlands Away. I dream a dream. The other. Okay, I'm done.
I guess I'll poke in and say I've been listening honestly to a lot of Payday 2's music recently. Just
okay,
great stuff, honestly, even after all this time.
I'll check that out.
What about you, Michelle?
I don't listen to a lot of game music,
Okay.
but I've always really liked the Kingdom Hearts 2 soundtrack a lot.
It's a good soundtrack.
It's a really good soundtrack, and I really like. Yeah, I think that one might be my favorite.
I mean, I still kind of jam out to Simple and Clean. Like that.
Oh yeah.
Like, you know.
Yes.
Can't get that out of my head.
That nonsensical song. That has nothing to do with anything, but it's great.
Anything so that we're not ending on the note of the Colonel Sanders dating sim.
Oh no, I think that's so. Interesting story. Colonel Sanders was a Kentucky colonel, which is to say it is a designation that one can get. I'm not sure if Colonel Sanders, I shouldn't say Colonel Sanders because I gotta look that up. But Kentucky colonel is a thing you can get without actually serving in the military. And I knew a dude who's from Kentucky, and he had a friend whose job it was to give people like the certificate. Like he actually had one on his wall. He was a Kentucky colonel, even though he had not served. And he'd gone with his friend when they gave it to Muhammad Ali. Like he got to be there and be like, congratulations, Muhammad Ali, you are a Kentucky colonel. Which I thought, like, you got to meet Muhammad Ali, so, you know,
Case closed.
Right. But yeah, there you go. Kentucky Colonel. You too could be that if you work hard enough or you know the right people. Or you are the greatest.
Join the ranks with Muhammad Ali.
Yeah. Flow like a butterfly, sing like a bee. Rumble, young man, rumble.
Yeah, I still can't believe this KFC thing is real, to tell you the truth.
Now, are we saying the console or the dating game?
Both.
The dating game, both.
Both at this
I
Both.
kind of want to
All
try
of
out
it.
this dating game. I kind of want to
I
see
know.
how close I can get with the Colonel. I want to know what's up.
Oh,
I want to
no.
know what his 7
No.
secret spices are.
All right. Thank you guys so much for joining us. It is now 8:02, and we must
Wow.
depart. I'm not in charge of this podcast.
Come on, why
And
you
you just
party
straight up,
pooper?
like, did you just see that? Oh, I'm not in charge. I'm about to
Do
close
you
this
think?
thing down.
Do you think he calls you Do you think he calls you honey mustard instead of just honey? If you get like high enough in the game.
I,
Stop.
I think you
Oh.
can work your way to hot wing.
No, God. Oh, God, no. No.
Thank you, Connor.
Or maybe he calls you like like honey biscuit.
No.
Yeah,
Biscuit's
Stop
kind of
talking.
an endearing term.
Stop talking.
You know.
I mean, you
I'm fascinated. I'm into this now.
It
this
is
is gonna
fascinating.
I'm gonna play it and
I'm
report
not.
back. I'm gonna let you
My
know.
life is flashing before me.
You got
I
to
don't-
check out these reviews. I'm telling you, they're pretty good.
I'm
Every
very
choice-
interested in this. I don't even
Every
like
ch-
I don't even like chicken, but I want to get into this now.
You're
I
vegan.
mean,
I'm like a vegetarian. I'm not really like. I'm not-
maybe if I
I'll eat
check out
the
the
egg, but I
reviews,
don't
but
eat the animal.
Yeah, you
I'll
got
have mashed
Maybe, but-
potatoes with them.
Maybe
Maybe.
next time.
maybe I check out those reviews, but
Yeah,
I got a feeling they'll inspire a different reaction in me than how hard I was laughing out loud when the cat reviews dropped, when the reviews for all dropped.
yeah.
Maybe next time we can read our favorite reviews and you can answer the burning question of, is it honey biscuit or honey mustard?
Hey, you guys, you have nobody to blame but Dimitri on this one. You have nobody to
Oh.
blame but him.
Trust me.
That guy right there. Yeah.
I'm aware.
Yeah.
Everything,
We're gonna award it over Dimitri. We're
Yeah.
gonna remind you.
everything's my fault at this point. All right.
So the building is closing behind me, so I'm
Okay.
gonna have to head out.
All right.
Yeah, same here. Cheers, everyone.
All right.
Take care, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.
Take care.
All right.